really come to love this region, like even more so than I already did when they were just qualifying basically for WCS NA and qualifying through that. It's so sick that they've got their own main event. These guys really have their own brand of StarCraft and have really grown to enjoy and love all of these players. In the bottom left here, someone that I really enjoy watching, this aggressive young Terran, the stallion from Invictus Gaming. It is Coffee.
Yeah, if we could just take Mio, Micah, and Haas and just put them in here, it'd be my dream region, man.
Wouldn't that be great?
Absolute chaos. Well, up here in the top right, representing the team that likes cactus-eating camels. That's right! It's a weird team, it's an awesome team. This is the Red Protoss, it's Firefly.
Indeed. So apparently late game focused PvT player up against a timing attack aggressive Terran.
Yeah, we'll see if Coffee explodes into that multi-prong or not. We definitely know in the mid game, don't be surprised if he's dropping left, dropping right. He has used those like tank on the low ground ledge pushes before, where he kind of sets up there, and then his rally, he'll just like boost across the map into your third base. Lots of picking up units and boosting them across the map. Definitely a mechanic he enjoys. Firefly does go Cybercore before Nexus and goes for the Probe Scout. Wants to come down here, but oh, he gets blocked. One Drilly Boy surround and doesn't get down there in time to block the command center. So smooth opening for Coffee, and Firefly not getting much value out of that probe.
And indeed. SCV though coming on in and confirming the faster expand, and also going to drop a bunker here for that Reaper just to be annoying. Right in Firefly's vision, of course. When you put it right next to the Nexus, you can see that well and truly.
He's going to build an Adept, not a Stalker. Oh, he's going to pull 5 probes?
That's a big pull.
Oh, this is really bad for Firefly if he doesn't kill that SCV. If that SCV survives, if it goes to the top, middle, Firefly is going to break his keyboard. If that goes to the top middle and can't get reached, or does it actually kill it in time? No, does it? Maybe. Maybe the SCV can't repair. Oh, it dies!
Oh, wow.
Okay, he actually gets the bunker kill. Very cute. Well calculated. Apparently, Firefly knew the exact number of probes to pull. 5 probes immediately pulled. We'll shut that bunker down.
All right, I learned something today, and hopefully a lot of you guys just tuning in did as well. Like my brain was just screaming, oh, this is an overcommittal, and good zoning with those gateway units, the 1.5 tier gateway units, cutting off the Reaper and just making sure it dies. I'd say this is a pretty strong start for Firefly. Very nice.
Yeah, time to put some respect on my name, says Firefly. I am sick of being overlooked in this region. A very sick opening for him. Twilight Council is on the way. Now, you can see Coffee here with the second barracks, and that is a surprise to nobody who follows Coffee's builds.
Yeah.
Because Coffee's like always getting second barracks, offered third barracks before Starport, because that allows you to get a lot of things that fight good. The more men with guns, the faster, the more he can just shove into his opponent. And you can see he's already cutting SCVs here to get out like Marines and Cyclones. This is very classic Coffee, just like cuts SCV production once again.
Nice. Always makes you feel good to get that Adept when that she overextends just that little bit too much. Interesting to see the Cyclone come out here with a, the 2-1-1 basically that's coming out of Coffee, although he hasn't dropped the Starport just yet. He's bought a Cyclone instead.
He's gonna build a tank, mate, and then he's gonna go. Oh, he's going Stim. What is this build? This is an odd one. Yeah, he'll still go a tank. Normally, I thought you'd go shields with this, but I guess he's going to transition onwards. He's going to have a sick 20 Marine timing with 2 siege tanks. He's got the Cyclone for map control, scouting, deals with oracles. Push. Yeah, it's tough to deal with. On the plus side for Firefly, he knows who he's playing, and you can see he's really like getting a lot of stuff on 2 base. So he's like third gas, get the second gateway. I would like to see a third gateway for him as well, though.
Yeah, just playing very conservatively, very defensive. Cyclone was looking for that third Nexus, just barely mistimed it by a couple seconds there as the Pro comes out to take it now for Firefly.
Hopefully, for Coffee's sake, he does double check that.
Oh, is
Building
he?
a missile turret right now. And a bunker. Oh, he thinks he's getting cheese because he saw no third. So Coffee has said, look, what I know about my opponent is he either is going for the third really early and he's macroing, or if he doesn't have that up, I'm going to assume he's cheesing me, get a turret, get a bunker, just play safe, add the gas, get the starport for the medevacs, which he'll do in the near future. And that's really unfortunate because that is a huge misread.
Yeah, scan comes in there from Firefly and he's like, what am I up against? What is this? There's a robo, there's sentries. And like, what am I looking at here? And the real story is, as Pig mentioned, just the overread on that third base and it being missing here. I mean, the plus side as a Terran is you can salvage the bunker. The turret kind of sucks, but oh well.
It's more that he's not pushing though, because he's got a sick army, right? And he could have been building a third tank. He's got 2 tanks. He's got like 20 Marines with stim. He could be coming across this map, man. He could already be halfway across and at least out in the middle threatening. Instead, Firefly's like, hey, I've got map control. Awesome.
Yeah.
Let's go up to 8 gateways. Let's get a forge. Let's, like, you know, add some probes now. Firefly has all the comfort in the world because from the map control.
And it always feels awful as a Terran to have stim finish up and just sit there.
Oh, Stalkers come in. Stalkers leave.
Yeah. Stalkers come in. Stalkers go out. You can't explain that. Oh, okay. Loses 2 there.
Nice.
Yeah, that was a good trade for Coffee there, obviously. But a bit of a gateway blow up there for Firefly as his production starts to kick in. Going to be a lot more charge lots and gateway units hitting the field here. He's on single forge. Yes.
Yeah.
So just +1 attack coming through.
This is really scary for Firefly. He has force fields and he has a good Stalker count, but he is essentially going Mass Zealot after that. And there is so many Marines building. 5 at a time. Coffee is not missing it. He's cut SCVs. He's adding a 4th and 5th racks. They're not building add-ons, Maynard. He went from 5 to 7 Marines at a time.
Oh boy.
He's going to have like 50 Marines with stim shields +1 in a big ball. Zealots do nothing against that. He's going to need great force fields.
And Firefly keeps coming in to see what's going on in Coffee's land, but all he's doing is taking siege tank shots to the face.
Oh,
He wants to catch the Stalkers. Yeah. He wants them to come poke one more time.
Are these sentries moving in the middle? What is that in the middle of the map? Or is it Zealots?
It's 4 Stalkers.
Oh, lucky for Firefly. Seeing that's very fortunate.
Oh, nice little sandwich there from Coffee. And Firefly trying to pick the one avenue to escape here, and he does successfully save most of his Stalkers.
Oh, and look at that. He comes straight back in and gets a medevac.
Wow.
Huge. Firefly, so cocky. I like it, but it... Oh, no, I don't.
No, I don't. Yeah, losing a couple Stalkers there on the back end. A 3rd one getting picked off by the Marines. A 4th one being picked off. Maybe a 5th here.
Coffee skips on medevacs, so Maynard, keep that in mind. He's got only like 2 or 3 medevacs. The Stalkers, if they can bait a few more stims, it's irrecoverable, but the Stalkers, too many are going down for Firefly. Remember that Coffee, we've seen him lose so many all-ins where his Marines just stim themselves to death because he's so committed with this push. Force fields are here. Firefly, he's definitely looking rough, but he maybe can do it with force fields.
Oh, the boys are here though, and I feel like with a giant ball with a boy pool, this many Marines, this many tanks, if you don't got splash damage as a Protoss, you are in hot water, my friend. Goodbye, Warp Prism.
Oh, he just wanted to be one of the boys. The Warp Prism flies in there. But yeah, I think you're right, Maynard. That is a big blob of Marines. The Zealots getting gunned down. The Drilly boys have done their job of tanking up front and center.
Well, that is
Battery
GG.
overcharge goes down on the left, but that's 4 siege tanks. Stalkers cannot do anything in range of 4 siege tanks.
Nope, we got 17 army supply against 75. That is going to be done and dusted. The Marines, majority of them are in the natural, not protecting the tanks, but it does not matter. There's enough firepower there for Coffee to tear a hole through Firefly and take game number 1. Bit of an awkward game for both players there. You know, a bit of a rough start for Coffee, a bit of a misread on the 3rd Nexus, but ended up just going, I'm going to 2-base all in as a reaction. You know, I can adjust from this. That might not have been his plan from the start, and just an adjustment for being like, well, now my macro's in an awkward spot, and, you know, I'm not ashamed to all in. I'm Coffee.
You know, Maynard, I mean, Firefly sounds cool and all, but if you pour hot scalding coffee on it, it is a one-sided match like that
is true,
last
yes.
one. That is, we just saw a reenactment of what happens when a cup of coffee does come into contact with a Firefly. And yeah, turns out it does just get eviscerated. It is not actually a magical elemental thing with fire immunity. No, you can, it's really bad. Don't do that, guys. Don't do that. You know, protect them. Insects are nice.
Exactly. They're a very pretty bug. We're going to take a short break, guys. Let's see if the Pretty Bug gets a map victory here against my favorite breakfast beverage and ties it up 1 apiece. Don't go away. Firefly and Coffee. Game 2. Coming up next. G'day StarCraft fans and welcome back to the main event here for China, the DreamHack Masters Valencia Summer Season 2022. I'm Maynard, with me is Pig, and we are in our final best of 3 of the night. Oh my god, it's nearly over already. We got Coffee versus Firefly, and there's only 2 maps maximum remaining. Maybe only 1.
Well, it's kind of funny, that last game we saw basically a super heavy Blinkstalker style, which can work, but you've got to be very careful with how you use them. And Coffee, it never to me feels like when I'm watching Coffee, it's that, you know, that feeling when you're watching Maru and you're like, nobody could do this. You know, it's just, he's too fast, I can't copy. Coffee, it's like, it's just all these smart details stacked on top of each other. He's like, you know what? He got a misread early, didn't take the push that he wanted to do on the third with the tanks and the Marines off the 2 racks, right? Didn't do it, sat up, turtled up, but man, just unloading 2 full medevacs out, flanking the Stalkers coming through the middle of the map with it. That is just a brilliant maneuver, and he ends up getting so many Stalker kills. Firefly was a bit too aggressive with those Stalkers, definitely needed to chill out and use those with the force fields to properly split the army, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that style of like just gateway unit centric with upgrades definitely can work against Terran. I feel like a boy pool is one of the greatest strategies for that style though, as a Terran, and it's not like he was going double forge and he had like armor or anything like that. And it felt like his third was a teensy bit delayed as well. But it definitely can work. It's just unfortunately that Firefly kind of got caught there by that trap from Coffee, like you mentioned. And in the bottom left there, from Team SSLT, this is Firefly. The skinny camel.
Well, a skinny camel might not be able to stand up to the scalding heat, the delicious builds, and the timing attacks of the blue Terran representing IG. It is Coffee.
What, the Jazz Jackrabbit menu music? Nice.
Heck yeah.
Oh,
Is this the build where you skip the orbital Maynard and then you're going Marauders on the other side of the map?
Ja, das stimmt.
Where's the barracks then, though? Oh, it's an eBay block. Okay. That makes more sense. And, oh, probe checks. No, it doesn't actually, but that's a pretty late start on the eBay. He could have gone in earlier for this one, so he won't get too much build time on it if the probes pull. And the probes do pull. I mean, it's still a significant delay and disruption to the build, but I do think Coffee could have sent that SCV in a lot earlier. He messed up his harassment just a little bit. He gets I would call it a decent block, but not quite what he wanted.
Trapped the probe in here, so that thing is definitely going down.
Yeah, the Marine is going to go after that probe. Engineering base should be cancelled. Let's double check that does get cancelled, and I think he got the money back because he's got uneven minerals. So that tells me that he got the cancelled money back, as it costs 125 to spend it. And it's only when you cancel something that you start getting the odd number refund. 75% of 125 apparently means you lose 31 minerals in that.
My head already hurts.
But yeah, no, we're not gonna. No, we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do it. We're not gonna do it. Command center on the high ground after the factory. Okie dokie, Maynard. Widow Mines or Hellions? I mean, obviously 2 Hellions to start, but after that, Widow Mines or Hellion commitment.
Let's go Widow Mines.
All right, it's been pretty common lately, and that's why I'm like, I kind of just want to see Hellion. But people are so good with their wall-offs that just a couple Hellions into Widow Mines is probably the more standard thing. See how it goes, of course. Twilight Council does come down for Firefly. Most people like to go Stargate against these 1-basey build orders, but Firefly apparently just very confident with the Twilight Council and already a second barracks because it's Coffee, Maynard, and Coffee always has a second barracks.
Coffee likes Marines. I get it.
Yeah, you get those upgrades, that Marine count up, all that stuff. Adept's going to poke on in here and have a little bit of a scout around. The Hellions and the Marines going to be deflecting that. Yeah, it does see the command center at least, so it kind of knows it's a macro follow-up. It's not like crazy fast proxy starport or anything.
Third rack's coming up behind this. My goodness. Coffee really wants that attack timing to kick in. He's just going to switch over the reactor. No Widow Mines for me. Oh, no, he's going to make tanks instead. How boring.
I like this, though. Just 4 Hellions for map control, right? And you're like, okay, you know, try to pick off the probe going to the third once or twice. So obviously try to run in. Once you can't get in though, just split those up. Cyclone on the way first of all, just in case there's like an Oracle coming. He's a little worried about that. And he's actually going to try and fight the Stalker. Hello. Very nice.
Yeah, and the 4 Hellions obviously win this fight. It's forcing a full wall off here from Firefly, but he kills the Stalker and only loses a Hellion for it. That's a good trade for Terran.
37 minerals lost in that gateway. The extra pylon is down way earlier than needed, so 100 minerals of opportunity cost. Very nice plays by Coffee. And he does, of course, see, okay, this looks like a blink opening. There's lots of gateways. There's multiple Stalkers. He's like, that's cool. Marine tank is fine versus that. Yeah. Let's just kind of get those Hellions out. I'd like to see the Hellions even repair. It would be super cool.
That's it. So, a bit of an awkward, like not super orthodox start to this TVP, but as it stands, Coffee is his plan has worked so far. He's gotten a good bit of early chip damage to the health bar of the Protoss in the early stages of this fight. And he does indeed know about this blink opener. He knows that there is likely going to be Stalkers, like you mentioned. Biotank, exactly what you need against this unit comp. And just got to be careful about the weak moments for you as a Terran. So the weaker moments are going to be usually when you're expanding or starting to move out when Stim isn't quite done. But I don't think Coffee's going to take that risk.
This is a very classic Coffee game. You might be like, how does he have so many upgrades, like Stim, tanks, so many Marines? How do you get this so early? Well, guys, you just skip the engineering bay and the starport. This is like the first lesson I ever learned from watching Coffee's games way back when. You don't need those. Yeah, you can't heal after Stim, but man, you have a scary army right here, right now. It's actually really amazing how much you can supercharge your army, and you can even go for really early pushes, but there's a metagame here where Firefly is expecting those fast pushes, and as a result, Firefly is playing very 2-base heavy.
Yeah, playing a bit of against his image a little bit here as a guy that normally likes the late game. Bunker and tank really nested back in that natural here. The mule got pulled for a second there. He decides against it, goes for the big SCV wraparound.
This is a terrible move for Firefly. I can't believe he pushed into a tank and a bunker. That's madness. Coffee punishes him hardcore.
Yeah. Yeah, that was obviously not very good at all for Firefly. A really bad trade. Loses the Prism for absolutely no value whatsoever. Shoots out at least an Phoenix to see what he's up against, but I think he's got a pretty good idea already. It's just a lot of bio tank. They've got... They haven't got any +1 attack upgrades or anything like that, but they are still holding on strong and didn't even lose the bunker there. That got repaired by just enough SCVs to keep it up.
And even if it went down, there was no opening there. There is so much bio out. Like, you know, what are you going to do? Kill the tank and lose all your Stalkers to the Stim bio? Obviously, Firefly didn't have the info we had, but the Robo Bay is so late. The Colossus tech is going to be so late. Oh, the Hellions are going to go for a drive-by, Maynard.
I'm in.
Ooh, it's
Shield
enough
battery,
to one-shot
but yeah, it's going to be one-shotting here with the Hellions.
Oh, man, that is so nasty. Oh, these Hellions were like a throwaway unit at this point. Stalkers will get a tech lab, but the important upgrades have mostly been made. Maybe you can stop concussive, but at what cost?
I mean, it's definitely not worth that many Stalkers, and I don't know if he even got it. Tech lab might be repaired here.
Firefly's YOLOing, dude. This is a guy who's just going to do a clean timing attack. You need to rush your splash damage. And that's it. And just, you need to be really patient and tactical with when you choose to fight. But Coffee is just like, defend, let you throw some units away. And now I have a perfect push timing. He's even got a third CC. This is not an all-in, but this should absolutely be a kill move. Firefly just doesn't have anything to stop this.
Yeah, he's been a few bum steers in the early stages of this game, and it's cost him a... he's basically shot himself in the foot a little bit with his choices in the beginning of this game. And people like Coffee that are good enough at the game, that already have the game plan set up, that have just been massing units on 2 bases, aren't going to let you get away with that. Big Blink 4 gets rid of the Cyclone. The Cyclone is the least scary unit here. Great force fields.
Ooh, juicy force fields, but Coffee says, I know how to hot pick up, mate. Just gets them back, pulls them by in the force fields. As soon as these are down, he's going to shove right on in. Those tanks are going to siege so deep on this Protoss base.
It's in range of the Nexus now, but he wants that Colossus. Zoning it back.
Nice overcharge. Ooh, but the tank fires too much, I think.
Too much DPS on these 3 tanks pounding this base. Losing a lot of bio to the Colossus. The Colossus is absolutely paying for itself right now. But is it enough? Methinks perhaps not.
The Colossus traded fantastically, but when you've got only a handful of gateway units, they just die before they do anything, and that's the big problem here. So trying to save that base, it's not going to be able to do it.
Keeps the Marines at the back, leaves the Marauders at the front.
Tanky boys up front and center. Keep those Marines in the back and get those trigger fingers ready because it's time to go!
That's right. Take your drugs. Shoot them guns. And then the
Have to
tanks
pull
are
the
going to
trigger,
start pounding these
Feister.
Colossi, which are now out of range of the shield battery, so they're going to melt. Man, they are made of paper against tanks.
Ooh,
And that was really...
70.
That was
70 damage a shot.
Exactly. And that was really what... that's all Firefly had in his back pocket to try and handle what was left from Coffee was those Colossi, and they're dead. Which means so is Firefly. Coffee taking the 2-0 victory.